Hello everyone, here Juan Gea from Bone Studio, and today it's another tutorial day. So today we are going to see how can we build our own version of Blender. This way we could have the latest developments made in Blender, and we could have different branches that we may want to explore, like for example the latest version of the Mantaflow branch. So how can we do that? For starters, we have this page in blender.org, this wiki page, that give us some instructions. It's like a tutorial on how to do that. But before we do that, we go with that, I recommend you to use a virtual machine. So you can use VMware or you can use VirtualBox, whatever you want. VirtualBox is free and it's okay to do that. So, but you need an ISO of Windows, and Microsoft provides us with some free versions of Windows in a virtual machine. So you may go here. I will put this in the description of the video, but you may go here, and here you have some virtual machines that are provided by Microsoft. You just have to select which virtual machine you want. In this case, we want Microsoft Edge on Win 10 stable. And we select our platform, VirtualBox, background, VMware, or Parallels. And here you have a recommendation. These are trial versions of Windows. So what you are not going to be able to do is to install this and have this virtual machine forever working. So how does this work? They recommend you that when you have your virtual machine ready to start, before you start the virtual machine and Windows gets activated, you make a snapshot. So after those 90 days, and they say this here, after those 90 days, you can roll back to the previous status before the activation, and then you can restart the machine and Windows will be reactivated and you will have another 90 days. But this has a drawback. The drawback is that you won't have any of your software installed. And that's important because you are going to be forced to repeat this process we are going to do today every 90 days. It's not too much, but it's okay, I think, for a free Windows version for this. But, well, if you want to have a fully working virtual machine with Windows, you will need to acquire a new Windows license. In this case, you have also these virtual machines here that are also provided by Microsoft. This is an evaluation one, and in this case, we have also a Hyper-V ISO. Hyper-V is a virtual machine system that is included with Windows 10. But this it's already outdated. But if you are going to acquire a new Windows 10 license, you can download this machine, use one new license of Windows 10 Pro, and it comes with all this software pre-installed. But we don't want all this software pre-installed because we are not developers, right? So what we want to do is to install just the bare minimum things we need to be able to build Blender. So let's go for it. I have a virtual machine here. As you can see, I have 43 days left, no more. But what do we do to install? Let's go Blender build. I don't know why it's slow, this. Come on. Usually the virtual machine is as fast as your standard computer, especially for these things. So here we have the link. Now it's okay. Here we have the link, and there are some things that you have to download. So you have to download one of those two. I recommend to use Tuerto because it's easy to install, it's easy to use, and you can install it and forget about it. Just download it here. For 64-bit, I'm not going to download and install this, but it's just a normal standard setup process, so nothing strange here. Tuerto, and you install everything, nothing special. Now you go and download a Git for Windows. Don't use Tuerto's Git. It's not because you can't use Tuerto's Git. You can use it, but I think it's easier to use Git for Windows. That is the most easier way to have Git inside Windows. So Git for Windows. and you go here, you download it. As you can see, it's ready to download, and that's it. Please bear in mind, everything is free, okay? Everything is free. After that, you go to download and install ZMake. ZMake, this is an important one because, well, of course it's an important one, but we are going to use ZMake when we want to build the Mantaflow branch. So you go to download, and you go here, and here we have the installer. Use the installer version because it's easier for you. So just download it, install it, and that's it. Next step is CUDA. This is a little bit hidden. We go to the CUDA download kit, but if we download this kit, we are going to download the version 9.0. And as is stated here, we need CUDA 8, not CUDA 9. It may work or may not. I'm not sure. But since we want to be sure that we are going to be able to build Blender, we want the CUDA 8 version. So we go here to the legacy releases, and here we can download CUDA Toolkit 8 for Windows, Windows 10, and use both of that. I'm used to use the local install files, but whatever, you can use whatever you want. Download these two, install them. Again, this is a normal setup process, nothing special to note here. So download them, install them, and just it. First you install this, and after that you install this patch. That's it. The next part is also a bit hidden. If we go to download the Visual Studio, we want to use Visual Studio 2013 because it's the one officially supported. Theoretically, you can use Visual Studio 2015 and 2017, but it's not completely tested, and I think just for the sake of being safe building this, we should use Visual Studio 2013. So we go to all downloads, and there is a catch here. We have here the Visual Studio versions, but if we go to download this, it will ask us, well, I'm already logged in, but it will ask us to log in. So you will have to have a Microsoft account or to create a Microsoft account to access this. It's totally free. You don't have to worry about this. You just create the account and log in, and then you can download it. And here you have to download the Visual Studio Community 2013 with update 5. There is no x64 version. Don't worry about it. You are going to be able to build a 64-bit Blender version, but there is no 64-bit version for the Visual Studio Community. After that, English, and you can use the exe. The exe is going to be an online install process, so it will download everything during the install process. You can use this, or you can download the DVD that is an ISO with everything included. So you do the install process locally. Okay, again, nothing special with the setup process. You just download it, install it, and that's it. You forget about it. Okay. Now we have everything we need to do that. After that, we have to start at command line, and this is where the fun begins. I'm going to show you one folder I have here. That is what we are going to create. I have the Blender Git version. I have a lib folder with all these libraries, and Blender, and all the code is here, and this is here's the project for Visual Studio, etc. All the code is here. But precisely what we are going to do is to create all this to be able to build Blender. So for that, let me delete everything, and we're going to follow together the instructions of the wiki tutorial. As you can see, it's quite a lot of space. I'm not sure how many gigs it needs. Oh well, we are going to do a different thing. Let me rename this Blender Git Ren, and we are going to create a new one. as you see, you will need, I think it was 8 gigs. I'm not sure. I think it was around 8 gigs, 9 gigs. Okay, you will need this, at least these 9 gigs. Try again. The folder for profile is open in another program. I don't know what program is using this. Okay, no problem. We are going to change this name and that's it. So we go to a command line. Please don't be afraid. This is pretty easy. So don't be afraid of the command line. And we just have to follow these steps. We can go here and we are going to create here a new folder. And we name this Blender Git v2. For me, it's Blender Git v2. That's it. We can close this, and now we go cd c with the tab key. You can autocomplete the folder. So if you press the tab key, oh no. It could be, we can use the Windows PowerShell instead. Okay, we are going to leave cd dot cd. There here. We can use cd blender and then press the tab key, and you will get different results. We have blender not get, sorry. Not Git, man. I want Blender Git. Blender Git. Blender Git v2. Okay. Okay. So the Blender Git v2. So we are going to replace Blender Git with Blender Git v2. That's it. Now we use this command to copy and paste the command in the PowerShell. You just have to go here, select Ctrl+C, go to the PowerShell, and right-click in the PowerShell, and this pastes the command. So now we press here, and all this download process that it's a bit long. You will see how I cut the video or how I speed up the video, so you don't have to wait for all the time that is needed to wait here. So we are back, and everything is downloaded now, and we can follow with the next commands. If we see the contents, we see the Blender folder, so we go to cd blender, we go to this folder, and then we have to copy and paste this command and enter. And then we have to wait again. This is just a one-time process, except if you have to reinstall everything in your machine, you will be forced to redo this again and again. But you can use this in your standard Windows machine. You are not forced to use a virtual machine or anything similar. So I'm going to cut, and we will continue when the download process is finished. And again, we are back. The download is finished, and now we use this command. We go here, paste, enter, and the process repeats again. There is some checks, but this is pretty fast. Everything is correct. And now we copy this, paste this, and everything is checked up. Okay, everything up to date. Okay, now the next thing we have to do is to go outside the Blender folder. I mean, we have to go to Blender Git v2. That's it. And then we go here and check out the 64-bit libraries. In this case, we are going to use Visual Studio 2013. So we use these libraries. We just copy again, paste again. And now this is again a wait process. Everything is going to be downloaded. If you see any kind of error regarding the libraries, it may be precisely because this step is not correctly done. So check that you have the libraries in place and everything is correctly pasted here and in the correct folder, etc., etc. So now I'm going to cut again, and we are going to be back when the download process is finished. So here we are again, and we have the SVN checkout from the libraries, but here you can find two problems. The first one is that you receive an error telling you that there was some timeout. This could happen if you go away from the computer and the computer enters in the screensaver or something similar. I'm not sure why it happens, but it could happen. So if this happens, you have to do as follows. In the text that you will receive with the error explains what do you have to do, but in case you don't fully understand what it says, what you have to do is to enter, let's see here, okay, enter this folder, now enter this folder, and then use the command svn cleanup, and this will clean the broken download, the broken checkout, and after that you go out to the base folder, and then you can run again the checkout. The message you receive when everything is done is this one: check it out, external revision, the number of the revision, and you can be sure you can be sure that everything is okay if you run again the command like I'm doing right now, and it checks that the revision is correct, the external revision is this one, and everything is fine. Great! Now we are ready to build Blender, and it is pretty easy. For start, we are going to build the vanilla version of Blender. It means the current revision and the same one that we can find in the Blender Build download page, but with the latest code. That is the code that we have just downloaded. So for that, we have here the commands, pretty easy. So you can use make full, but with make full you will get the same that you have in Blender Build, but without the CUDA binaries, I think, the CUDA kernels. So if you want the exact same version with all cycles, with all CUDA kernels, etc., what you have to do is make release and enter. Sorry. Error. Sorry, you have to enter in the Blender directory, okay, the Blender folder. You have to be here inside the Blender folder, not outside of it. But then if you are inside the Blender folder, now, yes, you can do that. Make release make release, and it's not executing that, so we're going to use the command line. We go to Blender git v2 Blender, and now make release, and that's it. Now it's building Blender. I'm going to cut again because this takes a while. It depends on the power of your computer. For a small computer, a small laptop, I have to build Blender. It can take up to 1 hour, but it's a pretty old laptop with just 2 cores, and it's a horrible laptop. So it takes a while. So I'm going to cut, and I will be back when Blender is done building. So here we are again. Blender finished building. It was quite a while, but now we have our Blender version. So to see where is Blender, we can go here, and now Blender Git, and now we have build Windows release, and here we have the build solution. And if we go to release, it was bin, I think, that's it. Inside bin, release, here we have our latest Blender version. I'm not sure if this will run in the virtual machine. Let me try. It seems it worked. I don't know why it's not showing the splash screen and the menus are not working, but this is in the virtual machine. Let me, to use this version, we can just go and copy this folder whenever we want to install Blender, and that's it. Let me pass the files to my actual machine and we will test this release. I'll be back in a second. Now I copied the files to my actual workstation, and here's the release. Here are the same files you saw earlier, and if I run this, we get this Blender with the date of today, the day that I recorded this video. And as you can see, for example, we can go to the preferences, and in system we have the CPU plus GPU render option, and is the latest code. In fact, it's 2.79.1 as the version number. Great. We have our we built our own Blender version. We can enable GPU, we can do everything. That's great. But now we want to build the Mantaflow branch. And what do we need to build the Mantaflow branch? Okay, I'm going to cut again, go back to my virtual machine and show you that. Okay, I'm back in my virtual machine, and to build the Mantaflow branch, it's pretty easy, but we are going to do it a bit more complex because I'm going to explain you a pair of things in configuring the build process. So for a start, it's simple. We just want to check out the Mantaflow branch. So we go to the mother folder, the Blender Git v2. We paste and we press end. Oh, sorry. We have to enter in the Blender folder, that is the Git repository, and git check out fluid Mantaflow, and it will start downloading the branch version of Blender. So switch it to a new branch, fluid Mantaflow, branch fluid Mantaflow, setup track to remote, blah, 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 blah. That's it. Now we can do git update, git update, sorry, let me check my commands. No, it's okay. It's ready. It seems it's ready. So now, what do we have to do? We can try to do another make release, and it may give you a correct build of Blender. But I was told by Sebas that we should use this command in the make option. So I'm not an expert in using Visual Studio and make. So what I did is to use the ZMake UI that you have installed with the make installer. So we open the make UI, and now where is the source code? We go where we located our source code inside Blender, okay, and here we go to the folder where we want our build to be done. So in this case, we are going to create a new folder, build Mantaflow, no caps, Mantaflow, that's it, select folder. And now we can do one thing, that is add an entry. And this entry is pretty simple. We just copy this. It's a Boolean and its value is true. Okay. Now everything is set and ready. We press configure. We're going to use Visual Studio 2013 in Win64. Use the file native compilers, and it's configuring our build. Now we will get a list of options that we can enable or disable for our build. For example, we can enable or disable Alembic, we can enable or disable the game engine, we can enable or disable a lot of things for our build. So we can customize our own build. It's a warning, okay, it's not an error. And here we have our build. We can see that everything is in place, and we want Alembic. And I'm not sure if I need this, but I enable it. We want CUDA binaries because we want cycles with CUDA. We don't need cycles standalone, and I don't need the game engine. I'm used to disable the game engine because I don't use it. Okay. The Ocean Sim, we can enable this modifier. Open GLTS now. Open subdeep. We want open subdeep. Open BDB. And that's it. That's okay. So now we changed the configuration of this. So we have to press configure again. It's faster. Now it detected CUDA. It's CUDA 8 as we need. CUDA static, It's everything is okay. Yeah, everything is okay. So configure again until we don't have any kind of red line in this configuration. So that's it. We have configured the project. Now we can generate the project. We press generate, and it will generate the project for Visual Studio. Please don't be afraid. We are going to open Visual Studio, but don't be afraid. We don't have to do anything too weird or too special. Okay, it's generated and we can press open project. But before opening the project, I'm going to bring you here. And here we have two spaces in the website where it explains how to use the manual build in Visual Studio. So if you see closely, we have to do two things, or we may follow this part, just this part. So for starter, when we open Visual Studio, we have to build the solution, the general solution, and after we have built the solution, then we have to build one specific part of the solution, that is the install project. But it is told here, okay, but we don't have to do it manually with this. We can do this from the Visual Studio interface. So we press open project, Visual Studio, yeah. It's the community edition. As I told you in the beginning of the video, it's completely free, so no problems here. Especially, it's completely free for using it with open source projects like Blender. Let me sing in. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm already in, and as you can see, Visual Studio is preparing the solution. I'm opening the interface, but while Visual Studio does that, I want you to check this out with Mod Manta. This is what is going to tell you that you are using the Mantaflow branch. Now we are here, we are in Visual Studio, and now we are going to change one thing from the back. We are going to use release. That's important to release to build the release version in x64, and now build solution. This is going to take a while. Is the build part that we did before for the standard version of Blender. So I'm going to cut, and I will be back when the build solution is completed. Okay, now we are back and the build is completed, and you can see here that this is the result. Succeeded, 127 succeeded, 0 failed, 0 up to date, and 3 skipped. I really don't know what the build skipped, but it's okay. So once we have this, we still don't have Blender build. So we have to go down here, and we have one project here that is install. And then we have to right click over install and click build. This will build the final version. This will copy all the DLLs and will build all the final version of Blender as we know it. So it's doing its job now. We can see here it's doing its job. And I'm going to cut again and wait until the build is completed. And we are back. And this was a short one. So now theoretically we have everything in place. We can go to our folder here, and we have here our build Mantaflow. Here we have everything in place. We go to bin, release, and here we have our Blender version. I'm not going to run this in the virtual machine because we know it's not working. So again, one more time, cut and come again. And finally, here we are. We have our Mantaflow release in my main. I have it in my main workstation. Now I can run it. It's the first time I run it. I'm nervous. Will it work? Yeah, for sure. It should work. I don't know why it takes so long, but here we have our branch, Fluid Mantaflow, from yesterday, 3 of December in 2017, and that's it. If I go here, I create a cube. That is going to be my domain, apply scale, Fluid Mantaflow. I need a sphere. That's it. Apply scale. This is my domain, liquid domain. This is my Fluid Mantaflow, flow, liquid. And this is a collider. Well, I don't need that. I don't need this right now. That's it, and I simulate, and here we have Mantaflow working in our own build. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, please press the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this in Spanish or English, and please leave us any comment you have in the comment section. And don't forget to press the little bell besides the subscribe button. So that's it, guys. See you in the next video. Bye.